Okay, I am here with a weapon tier list from when I played in the closed alpha of Fate Trigger, the Novita, and let's hop right into it. Alright, the first one, I believe this is the shotgun. Yes, that's the shotgun. Alright, where is it? On here. That's it. The Beast Buster Shotgun. What a gun. Uh, it sucks. It's not very good. The only situation where it's good is if you're in a house fighting, and when I say a house, I mean a house, not like a big warehouse. I mean a tiny little house that you loot, and then it's pretty good. So for a gun that's only good in a very specific situation, in a game where you can only have two weapons at a time, it's got to be D, right? It's D tier. Yep. And you could like when you respawn after you die, you could spawn with a shotgun, which is just so bad. Shotgun D tier, 1000%. Yeah, it's not good at all. Ooh, the bolt action sniper rifle, or also known as the CL-24 sniper rifle. So, I have a very interesting relationship with this gun. I like the bolt action quite a lot, but in the current state of the game, as of the closed alpha, the time to kill is very short. So there's no point to using the bolt action just because the DMR exists. And the bolt action in general is just going to be harder to use, and the average player isn't going to be like fantastic. So it's just always better to fall back on the DMR because the DMR is just much more easier to use. If they do increase the time to kill, which they probably will, that's what everybody's complaining about, this bolt action will definitely be better. But in the current state of the game, and the fact that there are no sidearms in the game, you only get a choice of two guns at a time. And having a bolt action in your loadout is very crippling in a lot of situations. Because if you are using your AR and you miss all your shots, you know what they say, it's always faster to switch to your sidearm than reloading. But guess what? There's no sidearms in this game, so you have to switch to your bolt action, which obviously, well, you better not miss. So, I think the gun is actually quite good, but in the current state of the game, B or C tier. Okay, if you're really good, it's B tier. If you're really crap, C tier. And obviously the average player in this game is going to be worse than better. So we'll put in C tier. Love the gun, absolutely loved it, fun to use, but objectively speaking, just doesn't make sense in the current game. Ooh, the crate weapon LMG. Where is it? The CL Monolith LMG. For a crate weapon, it is incredibly mid. Like, if I'm gonna go for a crate weapon, I'm risking my life, and I want to be rewarded. It's not very rewarding to get this gun. You still get the gold armor, which is nice, but this gun is just not very good. And there's a simple reason for that. It's because the fire rate is abysmal. If they just increase the fire rate a bit, this gun could be extremely powerful. And I don't even think it would be unbalanced if they increased the fire rate of this gun. It's a crate weapon. It needs to be good. But, you know, it's okay. It's about the same power level as, like, an AR. Which is pretty sad when I say it out loud. We'll put in B tier. Just middle of the pack. Just, yeah. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just incredibly mid. Fun to use. Oh, and it also has a bipod, so if you crouch, this is a big plus. Not that you're crouching, or not crouching, proning very often. You could get laser beam accuracy with it. Small plus, I guess. Doesn't really change anything. Keeping it in B tier. Oh, the DMR. Probably my favorite gun in the game. Just so fun to use. Very versatile, very strong, in my opinion. And going back to the bolt action, the DMR, the Caddis DMR is just so much more forgiving to use, as if you get a legendary mag, you get up to 16 bullets per mag, which is fantastic. So it's a lot more forgiving if you're missing shots. Still high damage, and with the current state of the game of the time to kill being lower, the DMR is powerful enough to kill people quite easily. So, ooh, A tier or S tier? I think it's just A tier. S tier would just it just doesn't justify it, because this gun is only really good at shooting people around, 100 meters away, and most engagements in this game happen closer than 100 meters. So this is a great weapon, and also when sidearms get introduced to the game, it'll be more justifiable to carry a sniper with you, because you could have a sidearm, a pistol, if you will, or whatever they decide to add into the game eventually. So we're going to put in the A tier for now. Fantastic gun, probably my favorite, most fun gun to use during the alpha. Just an overall nice gun to use. Okay, our first AR, the burst assault rifle, the CL Rafale AR, probably butchering that. Another pretty incredibly mid gun. It's okay. It's just hard to. This is just the nature of burst guns. They're either incredibly strong or they're incredibly mid. If they do nerf the CL AR4, which we haven't gotten to yet, this gun could see a lot more play. But in the current state of the game, the only benefit to this gun is that it has slightly more damage than the other ARs, or not the other ARs, the CL4 AR, but you're sacrificing fire rate, so it has to have higher damage, right? It's just the nature of burst guns. It's also pretty nice stably, so it's easier to shoot. As you have a burst gun, it's easier to control. But I still think I think it's C tier. It's just not that good. In the current state of the game, if the best AR in the game does get nerfed, which I doubt it will, this gun will see more play. Next, yes. My least favorite gun in the whole game. The rearguard LMG. This thing is so unbelievably garbage. I don't know how anybody uses it. The fire rate is like 2 bullets per second. It's so bad. Every time I pick it up, I feel like I have a brain aneurysm on PTSD of using this gun. Don't use this gun. It makes you. I'm pretty sure if you pick up LMGs, you're slowed down too. I'm not completely sure if that's true or not. It just feels like it. This gun is god awful. D tier. Oh, and there is the strongest gun in the game, the CL4 AR, basically the M4 of every shooting game of all time. This gun is so astronomically good. It has to be put into S tier. It does require a lot of attachments to make work, but in this game where it's so easy to get attachments, it's fine. And if you throw a 3x on there, you could really dominate the competition. If you have a purple compensator and a purple vertical grip, or legendary, it becomes a laser beam. Very strong. Wouldn't be surprised if they nerfed it. I hope they don't. I don't think it's justified, but they might. It's that good. And that was definitely my most used gun playing the closed alpha. Enjoyed it quite a bit. Fun to use, just dominates every other gun in the game. The CL4AR, basically just the M4. S tier for sure. Oh, SMGs. Wow. What a underwhelming presence SMGs have. Which one is this one? And to be honest with you, the Pulsar SMG and the Peregrine SMG, they're the same gun. I didn't notice much of a difference between the two. They were both equally garbage. And I'll tell you why. I'm just going to put them both in a D tier. Because the problem is, even with a legendary mag, the mag size is only 28 bullets. That is horrendous. And also, with the way bullet fall off damage works in this game, it feels like after 20 or 30 meters, the damage of this gun just absolutely plummets and you're shooting people with like a pea shooter. So that mixing with the small mag size, just, God, it's so bad. I really hope they buff these SMGs because, oh my goodness, it's trash. Horrible. Horrible. Couldn't stand them. Okay, and now probably the most interesting gun, in my opinion, the Gladiator AR. This thing is really interesting. Where'd it go? There it is. This gun has extremely high potential, extremely high firepower, the strongest of all the ARs, but the catch is the recoil control is very hard. It is very hard to control this gun. It's probably comparable to like the barrel and PUBG. Actually, not quite. The barrel is worse, but with this gun, it has a slower fire rate and harder to control, but if you can control it, you can melt people with it. It's pretty strong. That means you have to have like at least a purple compensator, because the attachment for this gun, you don't get a vertical stick grip. You can only put on a compensator. So if you're full autoing this gun, you need to have a purple compensator at least. So purple or legendary. And for that reason, it has to be B or C tier. I don't know, man. I think we can justify it higher just because of how strong it is when you do control the recoil. We'll put it in B tier. Love this gun. I want to try to use this gun more often. I think it's just that good. If you can control this beast, you could really mess people up with it. Okay, the last SMG. Not quite like the other ones. The Jackson SMG, aka the Tommy gun. Pretty okay. Much better mag size. If you get a higher mag, it went up to like 40. Way better. And it also felt like you could shoot people at a further range without the bullet falling off. The range was better. But it's still not great because it's basically falling in the same category as like an assault rifle. And assault rifles are just kind of going to be better than this one. Yeah, like the fire rate is equivalent to an assault rifle and the damage is lower, so it's kind of weird. It's kind of like in between an AR and an SMG in the way it is. It's not very good, but it's also far from being the worst. I think we were just gonna put it in C tier. Pretty fun gun. It's a gun you could spawn with, which is probably one of the better ones. I think all the guns you could respawn with are the SMGs and the shotgun. So this is probably the best one to respawn with. Definitely. And last, but certainly not least, we have the Adjudicator sniper rifle. Awful name. Why did they name it something so obscure? Please change it. Anyways, this sniper, I am convinced, is bugged. There is something not right with this gun. I would shoot people directly at people and it would miss. And I have a clip of me shooting someone directly in the head and it didn't count as a headshot. So I'm convinced that the crosshair isn't correct or the bullet drop isn't correct. Something is very weird with this gun. But hey, if you do hit somebody with this gun, it hits like a cannon. I think the base damage is 150 to the chest if they have like gold armor or something, and it's a one-shot headshot to anybody in the game, even if they have the legendary helmet. So, kind of a weird gun. I'm convinced it's not working as intended, but I could be wrong. But I swear it's not. It's fun to use. It's not easy to use, even if it's bugged. It is kind of hard to hit people with this gun because a lot of people have skills because they could dash around or they could hide themselves. It's not the easiest thing to use. Just a higher skill needed to use this. I still think that justifies A tier. It's still quite strong. Definitely the better of the true crate weapons. It's either this or the LMG. Hopefully they'll add more in the future because it's pretty barren right now for crate weapons. Yeah, that's pretty much it. How many guns is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Only 12 guns in the game. That is really low. So hopefully they'll add some sidearms. Hopefully they'll add some more like interesting AR DMR mixtures, kind of like a FAL or I don't know, something like that. Who knows? Right now they're kind of cooking in the background. We'll see. Unfortunately, we're probably going to see some delays, which sucks. They're aiming for like a soft launch by the end of the year, but it seems like that's not going to happen. But, you know, fingers crossed. Hopefully we will see the game sooner rather than later because, oh my god, I'm addicted. Anyways, that's all I have for you today, and I will see you next time. Later.